Guess who's back? Back again. Stella's back. Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Firstly, me and Mom are having the guilt-free Dukan Cappuccino in Volume 2 on page 81, and it's absolutely divine. Just what I need. Okay, so today we are going to make the soup that's on page 136 in volume 1. But you're going to see that we're going to use this recipe as a guide, because that's the nice thing about volume 1 and volume 2. You use it as a guide. If you go check the Facebook page, you will see that I posted 2 recipes last night where I used volume 1 and volume 2 as a guide to create 2 recipes that are completely different and new. So go have a look so that you can see what I mean. So today we're going to make the beef, butternut and carrot soup, but again, I'm adjusting it. So before we start with the video, you're going to see that the recipe calls for beef stock and chicken stock. So we use these. But you will see that they do not specify that it's less salt on the packaging anymore. So I'm quickly going to ask the brain why it does not say that anymore on the box.
She says brain so loudly because Mom's standing here working. Okay, so a few years ago, I did send Unilever an email. I first called the customer service, then I spoke to somebody, then they sent me an email to confirm that it's only the packaging that has changed. The old packaging used to say less salt. The new packaging is not saying less salt, but they did not change the ingredients and the recipe of the Knorrox cubes. Be very careful. Use the beef and the chicken. The other ones, the sodium is very high, especially the tomato and onion, eh? We don't buy that one. But yeah, those are the two.
I think it's
two
the green
that
box
you're
also.
using, those two. So be careful of the other ones, okay? But that's definitely less salt.
First, I want to show you my stage. La la la! It's so pretty. Okay, so we're going to get started because soup takes time. So we are going to move over to the oven so that you can see step by step exactly what I'm doing. And I'm back. Okay, so this is the pot that we will be using today. So we add our olive oil to a spray bottle that I ordered on Takealot because it's so nice to just use. But because I'm doing the recipe and the recipe calls for 15 ml olive oil, I'm going to spray it into 15 ml so that you can see. Yeah. I'm going to get a muscle. Look at my finger. Now I couldn't fill it all the way up because I was scared I was going to mess. Okay. So 15 ml of olive oil. And now the recipe says that you can use, you have to use 1 onion. But because my mom and I love onion, I'm going to add 2 onions because it's a guide. You can chop the onion however you like it. We like it in kringetjies, half mandjies. So I really hope that this recipe is going to make you all feel a little bit more confident in playing around with your recipes. I say. So now we are just going to fry the onions. While the onions are frying, I'm just going to give you guys a few tips. So before I started to do anything, I dissolved 1 chicken stock and 1 beef stock together in boiling water because you need about 500 ml. But you will also be adding just normal plain boiling water as needed. to get the desired consistency of your soup. And then, even though the recipe tells you to use carrots and butternut, you can actually use bean sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, butternut, gem squash, celery, green beans, spinach, turnip, zucchini, leeks, baby marrows. So you can really just play around with this recipe till it is perfect for you and your family. And that is exactly what I'm doing today. I'm making it according to how me and Mom love to eat it. So now I'm going to add 500 grams of lean beef mince. Hello, does it? It fell on the wooden spoon. And now you're just going to fry it. It's very important that while you are busy cooking your onions and your mince, you can deglaze your pot as you go. That's why it's so important to have the stock ready so that you can just add as you go.
Perfect. I love that deglaze. And that's not only with soup, eh?
Yeah, that's with anything, actually. Okay. So while this fries a bit, we are going to start getting our spices ready that we're going to use in our soup. Another important fact, so you can actually eat this where we are now on a PP day. So I'm going to tell you exactly when to stop, and then that will be your soup for a PP day that you can have an attack. The only thing that you would change on the step that we are at by now is you're going to use 1 onion on your PP day for attack. You're only going to use 1 onion. But when it's a PV day, you can use 4 onions if you want.
Why?
Because it's a PV day and you want to consume as much vegetables as possible.
And the onion is a vegetable.
It is a vegetable. Okay. So now that my mince is starting to go a bit brown, I'm going to start adding in my spices. So one of the spices that we like using in our food is the natural herbs and spices everyday seasoning that we buy from Diskin. Mommy, my brains, why do we use this one?
Because when you see at the back of the bottle, it says you don't even need to put extra salt in there. So it's got paprika, and but it hasn't got any added extra carbs and hidden sugars like dextrose and those things that, or potato starch that they put in a lot of spices. So you want to use as natural as possible. And this game has got quite a good range. Even the
and it's, vegan friendly, no added MSG,
and especially sourced, yeah.
Yeah, so it has sea salt, black pepper, paprika, garlic, onion, cayenne pepper, and turmeric. That's what's in the product.
So and even the smart carb spices and herbs you can also use because of the less salt and the less carbs in there. And also they say the Ina Parsons is also, Parsons, whatever, is also, she's not using as much salt and carbs in her spices. So it's very important. Because certain spices out there, I'm not going to mention names, when you actually put it in your hand, you can see the salt and the sugar in your hand when you put it in there. So that's what you need to be careful is those hidden carbs and sugars and salts.
Thank you, my brain. So I added 10 mils of that spices in. Now I'm going to add 5 mils of garlic powder because you will see we did not add any fresh garlic. And I actually love garlic. Then we're going to add 5 mils of onion powder. And again, I'm making this according to how me and Mom like it. This is how my household eats it.
Ja, maar hulle gaan dit ook so maak want dit is baie lekker so.
So I personally like adding 1 ml of the ground allspice because it warms up the soup. I like the warmth that it brings, but because it's very, 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 very like what, potent spice, I literally add 1 ml. 1 ml, that's it. So I like adding freshly ground black pepper. I've already did it to save some time. And again, you add this in according to your taste. And you see, I haven't added any stock because my stock hasn't completely evaporated yet. So now we've added in our spices. En nou braai ons. Just constantly stirring it. So what's happening now is you're browning your mince, you're softening your onions. And again, soup is love. Take your time, put your love into it, because I promise you, you will taste it in the food. If you rush it and you don't put love and kindness into it, Ma, will you know?
Ja, tuurlijk.
So, and to be honest with you, this morning when we checked the weather, I think it was like 5 or 6 degrees outside, and I mean that just calls for soup. Dis sop weer julle. So at this stage of the soup, this is 100% a PP soup. Just remember, 1 onion. Oh, this smells delicious. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add oat bran. So what the oat bran does, the oat bran actually thickens the soup, and the oat bran basically replaces the barley or the lentils that you would use in a nandukan soup. So we're adding 4 tablespoons of oat bran because it's for me and for Mom, and we will not be eating the whole pot of soup in one day. We will be freezing some of it. So 4 tablespoons of oat bran. Just going to mix it through. And now you're going to add the remainder of your stock. So as you can see, we made 500 mils. We used about 100, and now I'm going to add all of it. So this is where you stop. This is your PP day soup. So what you will do now is you would let it just cook and thicken up, and then you have your attack and PP day soup done and dusted. Just remember, you can add a little bit of less water if you want it a bit more thick. And remember to use 1 onion, not 2, for your PP and attack soup. So now we're just going to let this cook a bit so that those flavors can marinate. The smell, my knees are weak. Oh, the smell is incredible. Okay, so now we're going to add the vegetables. So we personally like using the hearty vegetable soup mix from Woolworths. Mix. My goodness me. I'm speaking French, okay. Why we like using it, oh my apologies, is because it only contains butternut, carrot, onions, baby marrow, cauliflower, leek, and celery. And you are allowed to eat all of those vegetables. So this is what we're adding. So 1 packet is 600 grams.
Please make 100% sure that the vegetables that you use are on the 28 vegetable allowed list.
Yeah, so just check your 28 allowed vegetable list. And when you go to Woolworths or Checkers or wherever you buy your veggies, just check the package, because with Woolworths it actually tells you, because there's another mix at Woolworths that looks exactly the same, but it's very important to read exactly what is in there so that you know. And you'll see in the beginning of the video I told you exactly what vegetables you can add to this soup. So because I want to make sure that we get in the max amount of vegetables that we can today, I'm going to add another one. And don't worry, I know the pot looks very full, maar dit kook sag.
Cook off.
So now you're going to see this looks very thick, doesn't really have any liquid. It looks worrisome to me. So now you're just going to add plain boiling water. Preferably to cover the vegetables. There you go. And now you just wait. You're going to just let this cook and all the flavors marinate, and just keep an eye on it now and then to make sure that there's enough liquid in there. Check your vegetables, let that mince get nice and soft. And that is it. It's as easy as that. So now we're just going to let this cook a bit, and then I'll be back with another tip. Okay, so as you can see, it's just been doing its thing. Now the little last ingredient that we're going to add is 2.5 mils of less sodium soya sauce. Why are we doing this? So this actually adds richness and depth and a slow cooked taste to the soup.
That little bit of something is missing.
It actually balances the bland vegetable taste like cauliflower and zucchini. And the last but not least, the most important thing is it makes the broth taste fuller, even if it is a guilt-free soup. So that is the little secret. So now you're just going to leave this to cook. Keep an eye on it. I will add a taste video a bit later on when this is done. And that is the quickest and easiest soup ever.
So you just cook it until it's all soft, and then how do you squash the veggies?
You can either mash the vegetables a bit. You can blend it. It depends on the texture that you like. So what I will do is, once the vegetables are a bit more soft, I will just go with a masher, like maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it, because we like a chunky soup. And that's really it, you guys. It's as easy as that. So there's your mash. And as I said, because we like a chunky soup, I'm literally just going to do this a little bit, and that's it.
And add water if needed.
So keep an eye on it. Check your vegetables and check your liquid. And then make it and enjoy. And keep an eye out for the taste video.